Hi, welcome. I'm Sahil Desai. I cover the internet and telecom space at Axis Capital. In our endeavor to bring investors, some of the best entrepreneurs in India, we bring today Mr. Mani from Just Dial. He's the founder of Just Dial, and over the last 2 decades, they complete 20 years this year. So over the last 2 decades, he's successfully helped Just Dial evolve from a voice local search platform, then moving to web, and now in its latest avatar, it's both web and mobile app. In this process of evolution, they have moved from search only to now search plus transact. It allows you capabilities to not only search for service providers, it can also take you to them and make you complete the transaction on their platform. So it's a very interesting journey that they've gone through. One commendable thing over these last 20 years is this entire revolution has happened with very little cash burn. Let me introduce Mr. Mani.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to this format, Mr. Mani.
Always a pleasure to meet you.
Let's address the concerns that upfront that some of the investors may have in their minds. And then we can talk about some of the new products. Last week itself, you launched JD Omni, which is your cloud-hosted inventory and billing solution. So we can talk about some of that later also. If we can start with, first off, the recent slippage that we saw in revenue traction.
That's right.
And you've said historically in the last couple of earnings calls also that it has been because there was a defocus from hiring new sales force, etc. Right. So if you can give us some sense of how the existing sales force performed and what led to the revenue traction slippage, and what you intend to do about it, and at what stage of progress we are in on that.
Okay, so to understand this, one needs to understand that which is the market we are addressing. As far as the users are concerned, we are looking at anybody and everybody who's in this country. He could just pick up the JD app and do it for whatever he wants. And we're trying to cover A to Z, whatever, whether you're looking for a business, you're looking for a product or a service. Now, how do you monetize this? So the monetization is primarily looking at how many of these listed businesses. So we list every possible business in this country. You know, if it is not in Just Dial, it's not worth looking for also. So when you list them for free, you need to kind of convince them to come and become a paying customer. That is, own your listing, start taking up those vanity positions, or start taking some kind of a keyword packages which help you generate leads for your business. Now, over the last so many years, we have done a phenomenal job at that. If you look at this company has evolved from what it was, one credit goes to the team is here. We believe in disruption. We believe that's the only constant, which is giving better and superior experience to your users. So we kept disrupting the model, and now you see the avatar from where we were and where we are. Now, the business is to a great extent non-linear, but to some extent linear. I'll explain to you the non-linear aspect is, over the years, our usage has been growing, and our people who have been spending money with us, several of them are there for a decade or more, they've been spending several X now. For example, you pick up a doctor, let's say a dentist in a particular neighborhood for the so-called platinum position, you could be paying as high as 3X to what he was paying us, say, 6 years back or 7 years back. But considering the number of businesses out there, there are 20 million businesses that we need to tap. And we have only tapped 2.25 or 2.3% of the businesses. Now, we need to have feet on street, which goes there, which we call them the hunters. If the hunters actually go and introduce these businesses to what's the opportunity at Just Dial, how you can leverage Just Dial to grow your business and generate leads for you. In the last 2.5 years, what has happened is we never invested money in increasing the sales force. But the inherent strength of the business is so good, you know, that still we continue to grow at 25% or even more for the last several quarters, if you see. But the base is getting increased. One hand, the base is increasing, and you're not investing more on hunters, which means the farmers who are actually working on the existing customers are not having enough assignments to grow. So that is a self-inflicted problem, created problem. Now, there is a rationale behind this. It's not that we were keeping our eyes off sales completely. We were very much glued to sales, and we are one of those rare companies who focus on real sales and real bottom line. But these two major products were in the pipeline to get launched. One is the Just Dial single app for multiple purpose, which had everything to do with voice search to search plus capability and stuff like that. The other was a product that we were developing in stealth for the last 14 months, which is called the JD Omni. I will elaborate when we comes to JD Omni. We decided when we have two rock solid products coming out there, shouldn't we wait for the sales hire till we get the products in a launch? But we never knew that sometimes things take time, and it took us six to 9 months extra time to get to this point. By then, because the top line had grown so much, the base has grown, then our growth started tapering off. But there's zero, nothing to worry on this. Just Dial still has a lot of inventory which we don't monetize. Had we done all those sales activities back then, increase in sales force, we would have still continued to grow at 25% year on year. Now, so I just want to tell all the investors that once we get that act right, that hiring the sales force, trying to capture, and even more important that the last 2 years we have expanded to tier 2, tier 3 cities, and we're trying to cover a larger market with more offerings, and there's more show and tell today as compared to what it was before. So hence the feet on street becomes so very important. So I know it's a long answer, but this is a fact. There is nothing to worry about it, and you would see that the impact of that will be seen in the coming quarters, that the sales revenues would have gone back to some regular growth numbers. So basically, in nutshell, the growth got affected because you neglect the core of adding more salespeople. Without more salespeople, you can't reach those 20 million businesses who are out there to who, upgrade themselves to paying customers. So that was the error. So this is getting rectified, and you would see the impact of this soon.
So one question that I hear a lot from investors is that you had not an increasing employee base in terms of your sales force, but you had a steady base,
Right.
and yet traction was slipping over the last 2 quarters. What I get from what you're saying is that maybe the overall base was looking right, but that mix of hunters who go out and aggressively get new business needed to be augmented.
Yeah, so we maintain the same sales strength, sales force strength. We have this mix of telesales and feet on street, which is almost 50-50 is what the current combination is. But the product has become so much more show and tell. You need to probably have, for every one telesales, 2 feet on street, because that's one, because of the change in the product mix. And 2, you need to, if you're targeting 20 million businesses and you want them to be familiar with JD being an opportunity, they're all users of Just Dial, by the way. But looking at JD as an excellent tool to generate leads for their business, and all those ideas have still not gone into them. And the timing is right now because internet penetration, in a way, their customers are moving online. So these businesses, if they don't have an online strategy, they would have a dent in their business growth in the future. So the online strategy for them is to be definitely in a marketplace like Just Dial. So we will definitely do that now, ensure that we reach out to every business out there.
In terms of what incrementally at the margin, how are you seeing merchants respond now with whatever competition there may be in the market? So for some of your key categories, if you can just give us a sense of what is happening on the ground, the base.
I don't have numbers by category, but I can say, just to give you an example, in 2007 we went online, and that time we probably had about 35,000 paying customers or campaigns, and today we have 355,000. So in less than 9 years, we've grown like 10x or more. And I would still say we haven't scratched the surface, because if you look at the sheer number of businesses in India, perhaps we have the largest number of self-employed people in the world in terms of density of population, and mere numbers also we would be. And they are all hungry for their own growth aspirations, and they would one day be part of our ecosystem, because we are the pure play marketplace. We don't want to compete with them at all. We have been believers, enablers, and stuff like that. Now, there are people who say, no, we got perhaps affected by some vertical players in the market. Now, I would like to highlight here. Let's say some people said it's because of the entertainment, there is an entertainment vertical which is perhaps affected JD's revenue growth. Now, in the history of Just Dial in the last 20 years, we haven't made a penny from entertainment business. So even for argument's sake, although it's not happened, that argument's sake, let's say we and there was this traffic moving to this thing, we haven't been affected on revenue front even a penny because we are not making any money. And then let's say talk about, when you talk about hyper local search, you definitely talk about restaurants and food. That has been only 1.7% of our top line. It continues to be the 1.7%. In fact, inching towards a better percentage now, because the restaurants are feeling that JD is a far more important destination for them to be in. So it's an irony actually. Anywhere there's a vertical, in those segments we're doing better. Because, I don't know, perhaps because the money spent by the vertical or the awareness that's created, certainly the realization among the businesses, oh, we need to be part of this, and we come as a top priority for them. Because that's the product they use. They perceive that there is more benefit out there. And the ROI that we give, unmatchable. If you compare the ROI of Just Dial versus any other vertical, they will be nowhere close to us. So that's the beauty about it. But you need to understand, when you have such a growing top line, and if you don't add the required new sales force, how much of it you'll get from the same set of, by what do you call, farming the same set of assignments? There is a limit you get to, and then you need to have new assignments in place, and this is where our business got affected.
Also, coming to some of the management bandwidth concerns that people have voiced in the past. So if you can give us a sense of how you've built a team to lead, let's say, the product, the sales, the hiring, and also if you can give us some color on the exit of the CTO and the new CTO coming in, and if you can just elaborate a little bit on that and allay some of the concerns on that front as well.
So first of all, on the management side, we have such a well-distributed team in place. I don't know why people are talking about we don't have the management. We have executed more things in the last 2 years than any internet company in India has ever done it. We have done across, we are a horizontal. When we say Search Plus, we're talking about across product segments. We have done that. During the same time, we built a great product like Omni. Our revenues have been growing till last quarter, let's say. So if you look at it, all this cannot happen without a rock solid management in place. Our sales management is one of the oldest, and they've been around for almost 10 years, 12 years. We are of course adding new talents. We have actually gone ahead and hired a lot of IITians, and also IIT IIM type of qualification, because we feel that that quality, that also the perspective they bring in on board and a lot of young people into it. And so overall, we are benefiting from all of this. So CTO left, let's say. The CTO was not even part of the Omni development at all. Omni is going to be one of the flagship product of Just Dial. And from scratch till finish, the CTO was not even, to a great extent, not even aware about the product. Because we deliberately chose that he is taking care of the regular stuff, let us have this new stuff built out of a different place. And they were all holed up in a different place. A large percentage of the JD management team was not even aware of an Omni product coming out of it. So that's the difference. Then there are products like, you see JD Maps. It could give tough competition to any map company, with driving directions and all kinds of stuff. That's built by a different team, which was not under the CTO at all. So, but then you need to have somebody called CEO. Like I take credit for most of the work, but if you ask them that I contribute very less, maybe my direction, vision, and this is how it should be, or maybe my inputs. I'm a difficult customer, so it has to pass through my test. But otherwise, it's a task done by a different team. And as far as Sandeepan Kuding is concerned, it was personal call of his. He's been hinting that to me about a year back, before quitting. And he said, look, I've achieved my personal goals in life, financial goals and stuff like that. I feel like I should move on. And the team is totally independent. They don't need me at all. In fact, I made myself absolutely dispensable today. And he proved it right, because when he moved on, there's hardly any impact on the, in fact, we rolled out 3 new products after that. And you saw the product like JD Social.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rock star product, I'm telling you. It's people, once they see it, it's going to be so addictive, because this is the first time ever there is a social product which is very much pertaining to my wherever my intent is to like a commercial intent, which means it could be as simple as watching a movie also, but I do care about what my friends rate about it and what other friends have to comment about it in one forum. But it is also when I'm looking for a good pediatric dentist, or I'm looking for a AC repair guy. Just in case I want a validation or further from the JD research results, I have my friends to help me in that. And that's a beautiful product that's coming up as part of the JD ecosystem. Again, that product is developed by a completely different team. A team where none of the old members were involved. In fact, most of the old members are not even aware of that project.
And also, if we can talk a little bit about the whole buyback process, how your thoughts evolved from the beginning to what you feel about it now, and going ahead, what are your
Hindsight buyback was a mistake. I'll tell you the reason for that. But intentions were not bad. So the whole buyback discussion came in about distribution of cash, because we have a lot of cash in the books. So we have about 1,000 crores of Indian rupees, which is nearly about say 170, $180 million. So, and we looked at any inorganic opportunity, any M&A opportunity, and we felt that at least for the next 3 years it's shut. There's nothing substantial out there. The issue was, now you're going to add another couple of 100 crores next year. So what are you going to do with that cash? So we decided, okay, let's do a distribution. The tax efficient way to do was a buyback. So we went ahead with the buyback. But we didn't realize there is so much of paperwork to do with buyback. And there are large investors who may not want to exercise this buyback just because of the paperwork and the whole clearance process and stuff like that. And it also gave a perception that the promoters don't believe in their own company and they are also participating in the buyback. So I think buyback as a distribution of cash is a very bad idea. You will never see us doing it again. It will definitely be the less tax efficient way, maybe dividend, but we'll continue to do it that way. But we definitely don't want to hoard a lot of cash, because that is a risk, another risk that you can run into. We want a war chest, which we already have. And so whatever, going forward, we may have a liberal dividend policy, which is very unlike internet company though.
Okay, and just from the business point of view, if we can talk a little bit about how you perceive potential threats from, let's say, global search engines coming here, and what do they need to do to make a dent in your mind, to make a dent in Just Dial's business? And also, as a second leg to that threat perception, if you can talk about how you spoke a little bit about it, but more specifically, if you can tell us how the threats from Indian verticals are perceived by the management, and also in terms of how diversified the revenues are at Just Dial, and what you see the threats going ahead on both these counts.
Okay, so before the threats, I would like to talk about the opportunities, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. In 20 years of running our business, I've never seen such an opportunity that I see in the next 15 years or 10 years or 5 years actually. The reason for that is, all those years that we ran, we were always ahead of time, and we kind of wanted a better ecosystem. For example, when we were just a voice search, there was not enough phone connections in those. So obviously we're not able to penetrate the market that we wanted to. Now what has happened is, all of a sudden there's a big change. In the last 3 years, we are seeing that internet penetration has grown leaps and bounds. With that, now hopefully a quality internet will happen. I'm betting on this year, maybe a little second half of this year to second half of next year, we would be having world-class internet in pretty much every small city, town, big city, everywhere in India. So these are great developments, which means that you have a good ecosystem, rock solid ecosystem, which means now people are not going to do things the old-fashioned way. They're going to do the new way, which is using these opportunities. So we see we are going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of that. The reason for that is we are a pure horizontal. We are A to Z for you. Okay. So when I say A to Z, when you use Just Dial, when you even search, it identifies it's so hyper-local, it identifies your location. Suppose you search for Domino's, it exactly gives the Domino's right up next to you, right in the auto-suggest. Okay. Then you click on, say, movies, it shows movies playing next door, and one click, you buy the tickets. And we deliberately chose that if competition is taking 13 clicks to book a ticket, we chose 3 clicks to book a ticket. Our differentiators are like this. So one click, I can find any doctor nearby, I can buy specialization and stuff like that. So we built a product which is definitely superior to any product in the market, including the search engine to each individual vertical players. Okay. So one hand, ecosystem is a great opportunity. The product that you built is superior to the rest. Now let's get to the psyche of users. A user in India, an average user, wouldn't want to keep 10 different apps where he gives his personal information, he gives his credit card details and all those things. He wouldn't want it. Unless there's a huge financial benefit, he will definitely not want to do it. Okay? So there we score the highest, which means one app that does everything and no inferior experience as far as even those places where verticals are there, let's say doctors, or you're talking about restaurants, everything is as superior as it is in the others, or maybe in some way it's better, because our voice search capability is world class. And you have seen the accented voice search capability. Indians have 22 different dictions and all kinds of things we have addressed in that. So that way it is superior. So ecosystem better, product better, then what next? So here we found that our product is so good, it's like having a very smartphone in your hand where most of us exploit 5% of the features and then we are onto a new phone and it's really not being exploited. We don't want that to happen to our app. So what we decided is, hey, we have a great app, we have a great ecosystem going, let's have a new way of approaching this market. Let's have an evangelical activity to introduce people to the JD app. The JD app is a lifestyle changer. JD app, in short, is life made easy. In fact, that's going to be the tagline for the app itself. So the life made easy app, how do I establish it's a life made easy? Now, if I show you the search is same as the other, well, you'll say, oh, okay, I'm not saving my personal details in 10 other places. But if I show you the app, you can program everything. You can make your grocery list. You can make your family members list with their travel document. You can make a list of every other thing, like a car insurance. If you want to buy a car insurance, do you know to buy a car insurance is cheap than buying it offline? Online is cheaper, but to do that, you need to know the engine number of your car, registration number of your car, registration date, your chassis number of your car, as well as the date of expiry of the existing policy, and all those details. Now, doesn't come handy when you really want to do it. What JD app has done is, it has got an exhaustive profile section. You spend an hour with our evangelist, not even an hour, in fact, about 40 minutes flat. He will program everything for you. How many cars you own, what are those makes, what are those registration dates, everything is fed in, which means even if you say, I want to repair my car, it knows exactly you have an Audi, you have a Skoda, and then you can select and go and act on it. You say, I want to repair my TV, it knows you have a Bravia, Sony Bravia in one room, and the other room has a Samsung. You say, I want to do servicing for my air conditioner, it exactly knows what you have. Similarly, you extend your imagination to anything. I want a home loan. Home loan. What all the information that it would want? Probably it might have most of it. It will just ask you 3 questions. What's your last on salary? And attach your last 6 months bank statement. You get a home loan approved from Axis Bank or whichever bank. And they're all looking for such kind of data to come to them so they can quickly act on it. So this is what we have done, which is going to be unique, and no vertical can compete with us. Neither a large search engine can compete with us unless they copy us. Now, vertical copying this is far-fetched. Nobody would give a profile information to a vertical. But I would definitely give it to a Just Dial app, because I can make my grocery list here. I can make my medicines list here. I don't have to even change loyalty of the store. I can continue to buy from the same store, but I use this app as the tool. So these are the big differences. This the world has not seen. Hence, to understand this would be a challenge. But you imagine, if we get this act right, this is such a huge opportunity. So I'm super excited. Glad that we spent this 14 months not trying to acquire fickle-minded users who come there because you're offering something and then they move on to something else. We built great product. Now our focus is going to be in rolling out these great products. So I don't see I don't miss one night's sleep thinking about these verticals, not thinking about this so-called giant outsider who can come here and do the killing. Now I want to say the other opportunity. It's the right time to talk about Omni. Our job was always from day one, be the enabler. Never become their business. Don't compete with the person who's advertising with you. You should not compete with his own business. So we played the enabler role. But the definition of enabler is changing day by day. Today, if you ask us businesses, small, medium businesses anywhere in India, we all know for sure their ability, the nimble-footedness, the ability to service a client is far superior than a giant. Okay? Where do they lack? They lack technology. They do not have the coolest technology like one click, one voice command, find a product, click, one click, place the order, schedule the delivery, because it's one tap payment, directly takes money from my bank account, my debit card, my credit card. So I just have the convenience of just buying it in one tap. So what we did is we built a product called JD Omni. JD Omni is like almost like a on the fly. It creates an app, a website, a mobile site for any business. You could be a B2B business, you could be a B2C like a retailer, like a grocery store, or you could be a ball bearing company, or whatever your nature of business is. We understand that you need to have an online presence. And your online presence should not be limited to just a website. The website itself should have an e-commerce capability, or a transaction capability, or at least a request for quote capability. The ability to share the content there on social media should be there. So we are building these on the fly. It can create a website for the customer of any type of business. We have over 5 million products out there, and we're just adding more and more. So they're all barcoded, the visuals of the products are there, everything is there, the description of the product. So you don't have to really do it. Unless it's your own custom product, you have to just go and upload your custom product. That also we show you how to do it in a very simple manner. But the beauty about this is it doesn't only have your own website, your own mobile site, but your own app, which you can give with your core 500,000 customers, 2,000 customers. Now you can at convenience use the app. It also will have one-tap payment. It will have a voice search capability, the state world-class voice search capability. In addition, this is integrated with your POS system. Supposing you have an outlet at your physical outlet, there it is integrated with the POS system. The POS system means it is in sync with the inventory that you have in the system. It has features like the POS gives you a notification, hey, there's an online order, there's a marketplace order. And the beauty about this is Omni, you can publish in any marketplace you want. We don't want to be like restricting them. So in one screen, I'm able to see these are my online orders. I have to execute this. We are also giving them a delivery app where their customers can keep track of the delivery of their products, whether it's taken off and whether on how far the delivery boy is, to that detail. Imagine the application of this on a B2B or a B2C this thing, it could be huge. Okay, and then we have things like placing purchase orders. So supply side also you have to take care of it. Placing the supplies also, right, order for supplies sometimes also has an impact on the customer experience. Customer walks in, you don't have the product, then it's going to be a bad experience. So here what we have is a one-click purchase order for several hundred products. In one glance, the system tells you what is low on stock. Because there's an algorithm to do that. It has the intelligence to do that. And it has a self-learning thing. It tells you what is low on stock. One click, it creates, and these purchases orders are sent to multiple different distributors who supply you this with one click. You can operate from your cell phone. It has got one beautiful dashboard. If you are a multi-outlet owner, and you can't be in all the outlets at the same time, in all probability you may not want to be in the outlet also. But you on your cell phone get an Omni dashboard which gives you a ticker minute by minute what is your sales from each of those outlets. How much of that came online, how much of that came offline. And actually, if you put the cost there, I will show you the gross profit also. I can give one-click comparison between this month versus the previous month, this year versus the previous year. Name it, it has everything. Some of the businesses give customers credit. Chasing customer credit is an issue. Because one, you should know whom to call when. Now in this JD Omni system, it has the intelligence to send an email communication to the customer saying your payment is due. Click on this link to make a payment. And the customer can use his net banking or use his debit or credit card to make the payment. It also sends him by text message. So a lot of things that we thought to like, let's take the advantage of technology and build this super cool stuff for these SMBs that they get addicted to our system. It's like using a Microsoft Excel. Once you get used to Excel, it's tough to get out of it. And we are doing that with Omni. We're going to change the way people do businesses in India to begin with. Then this will be exported to all the countries because I don't have to spend a penny in sales and marketing because I'm going to franchise it out. And it's a cloud hosted solution. So it will work from anywhere in the world. You get it? And just a bit of language tuning is that which we are doing in India also. Yeah. So for example, in many businesses we have noticed, although people say it in English or they place the order in English, sometimes we've seen in phone call conversation, the guy is noting down in his mother tongue. So we decided Omni will also have a screen which will display in the language of his choice. So he gets to see that as well.
Right.
So all this that we have built, I'm very proud of that. So this is where you have to see the opportunity in truly speaking internet opportunity is among enablers. You look at all the successful internet companies today, most of them are enablers. Google is an enabler. Facebook in a way drives traffic to you, whatever you're looking for, it's also an enabler. Even social media companies like Twitter are enablers in a way when you try to exploit them commercially. So the more the enabler you are, the bigger the opportunity for you as internet penetrates more and more. The more you want to be the giant guy providing everything yourself, I think the challenges are too many. And in India, there's a big challenge, according to me. You stop doing this price discounting, you will see a negative growth in most of these online companies. So the true internet opportunity in India is for enablers. It is if you focus all your effort either generating leads for the other businesses or giving them piece of technology that will help them grow better, you are better off. You're foolproof for the next 10 years. And secondly, the marketplace is going to be a very important opportunity. But the marketplace without real-time inventory and real-time price will not work. So you can have a marketplace where you decide the price and supplier could be anybody because you're taking a hit on it. Yeah. But how long that will continue? The true marketplace is when businesses compete with each other, you only showcase it and you make your commissions. Or you make your money in showcasing it. So our strategy in Omni is two-pronged. One, we thought that this kind of a cool technology is a great opportunity for us, and we must focus on that. Omni will do not only, is perhaps world's first cloud-hosted solution which does from supply chain to customer-facing thing with one solution. But this will also have soon payroll integration. It will also have accounting integration. So if you want to start a business, you just need an Omni. Sign up with Omni, everything is taken care. If you have a very good running business with multiple outlets, you too want an Omni because that is the need of the hour. So what we feel is, if we focus on enabling thing, one, we are able to see a large more opportunity to have a fruitful relationship with our customers because there's more new revenue stream. But because of Omni, we are also enriching our marketplace and making the consumer experience far superior. And that's the thing. And as far as logistics is concerned, these SMBs are super, super smart. They, in fact, invariably when you buy things through JD, the deliveries are done in a couple of hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours. And I'm talking about high value products, bulky products. They're delivered in 2-3 hours. We're not doing anything. It's just that kind of quality of entrepreneurs that we have here. So we don't have to think about the logistic as an issue. Logistic is the least issue in India. Yeah. Where the labor is cheap, logistic is the least issue. And they have dedicated guys who would come to your doorstep, actually teach you how to use the system also. Will any delivery boy teach you how to use the remote control in your television or how to use this cell phone? Maybe you'll also carry a mini shop with him where he has this accessories to go with your phone. So that's the beauty about it. So that is India we are betting on. And the internet we are betting on, obviously, the changing infrastructure. And I think we have got our direction right. Yeah. We don't have to wait for the next round of funding. In fact, we have to always worry about where do we place our cash that we generate and how do we do it in a manner that is always fair to everybody.
So coming to the marketing side, if you can, there are two things that maybe we can discuss.
Right.
One is on the big marketing launch that you spoke about, and the rupees 1 billion budget that we have over the next 12 months, which will help launch your new products. And secondly, you gave us a little bit of sense about the multi-level marketing that you plan to do.
Right.
So if you can talk a little bit about what your plans are on each of those.
So before we do that, let's get to a generic discussion about companies that have been successful in engaging their users so far. Just a moment, let's forget about Google and Facebook and all those others. Let's talk about the Indian internet companies. I think the ones who have been extremely successful are the ones who have given the best cashback. And you use it because you are straight away benefiting financially. And that's like 20-30% of what you purchase, which someone else is taking the hit because not the vendor is taking the hit. So that's one of the best way to get user engagement. Will we do it? No, we will not even touch it. We will never even think about it. Okay. The second best ones who have been getting some bit of user engagement is saying, hey, I am the place to come to. I am the place to come to, and constantly keep telling that on every television channel and bombarding it like the cheapest place and all that. If you ask a person like me who built a business with $1,000 capital, and today we are worried about what should we do with the 200 million cash reserves, isn't that a better situation to be rather than say how to blow up this 200 million and raise another 400 million and burn it? So that is not it. India, China, America are three different markets. What worked in America will definitely didn't work in China. What worked in China will definitely not work in India. My conclusion is product has to be superior. Inspiration should be the product. The product, if it is good, then evangelists will play a far superior role. To support the evangelical activity, you need to have some kind of a visibility, advertising, which communicates to people, hey, this is one single app which will do everything. And we'll measure it because our goal is to get sticky users for life.
Billion rupees.
Yeah, billion rupees. Yeah. We want sticky users for a life. We don't want users who come here for some flimsy reason. We want people to come here because we give them one-click price comparison with all the online players and the offline player, which means it's compelling. We don't care from where he buys from. If he finds some other online guys cheaper, be it, because it's benefiting the user. So like I said about the profile section, which will go to make your life easy with few clicks, it will even remind you, hey, your insurance is due for renewal. And one click, it gives you code of all the players, and then we make money. And that is the path that we have chosen, and we're pretty confident about it. So we're not worried about getting user traction and all that. We deliberately chose not to be part of any of these inorganic app downloads, to get crazy app downloads, get it uninstalled in 30 days and 60 days, or we were never into the cashback game. So that's what I'm trying to say. An Indian internet play, you need to have patience. You need to have patience. You need to have rock solid product. You need to have both the user and the so-called people, like for us is the SMB, from whom we make money. For us, we have to keep both the parties happy, and we need to strike the right balance.
And also a little bit on that multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing will be as simple as like Amway. Have you seen Amway, the way it works? So each person who comes onto Amway is a potential customer, as well as is an evangelist also. So the way it works is, you in the JD multi-level, we will be announcing in the next few weeks. It's going to be something like you come on board and actually you pay money for it. Can you believe it? You have a choice to be free also. So you can be free. You have to pay for it. So if you're free, you learn how to do it. The evangelist will teach you for free. Okay? And the evangelist will be incentivized for every usage that you use this, so he's getting benefited. And he also has another option where he says, look, there's a paid subscription where I set it up for you, everything, and I'll teach you how to do it also. Even otherwise also, you bring your friends, family to this, I will help them how to set it up, and every revenue we earn from them, you get a percentage of that. So every person who's a user of JD app also becomes a promoter of JD app, because he can potentially financially benefit. It doesn't take your bandwidth at all. So out of 10 people we sign up in this program, 2 will be active users and 8 will be like a passive one who will probably get their friends over to their house, and someone from JD would go, evangelist would go and do a demonstration and get them all into the JD ecosystem. Basically, our goal is to make life easy for people, and truly our app is. And we use this method because it's a far better method, because you trust your friends, you trust your family members, and there is nothing, most of the money you will be recovering from using the app itself. So there is that's not going to hurt you at all. Or by bringing more people, you're getting earnings out of it.
So that is for the marketing of the Search Plus app.
Yeah,
And for JD Omni, if you can highlight what kind of marketing push are you looking at?
Omni is something, it's all about show and tell. You got to demonstrate to businesses. We have seen tremendous success in when we address businesses in a group. So when you get them over to our office and address them in a group, this is far more interactive. We are able to showcase our product, but of course, there's only focus on to the stuff that we are showing. So we've seen success. So that's a new stream of a new method of channel we are thinking, that we're going to have as many people invited, not necessarily to our office, maybe to some banquet in a hotel near to their place of work, but try to do more of this group presentation. Second is, we want to increase the number of one-on-one presentation too. There are some people who would still want our people to come to their office. So we are boosting our sales force. We are boosting our sales force, just a dedicated 500 member feet on street only for Omni, and a 500 telesales person to fix appointment and keep them busy throughout the day. So that is going to ensure that there are 4 to 5 presentations per salesperson, and even with a conversion of 15%, we do a phenomenally financially successful model. So that's going to be the approach for Omni, a combination of group presentation and your own employees who are going to go there and make sales. The third one we are also discussing, and most likely we're going to implement it, is we are also looking at appointing franchisees who can independently sell. These are typically could be hardware companies which are supporting existing businesses, hardware system and stuff like that. They could be wonderful sales channel for us, introducing Omni to them, and that could be one channel that we are looking at, and most likely we might go ahead with that also. And also we'll keep in mind there is no conflict of channel, such that it goes on smoothly. But it's important, if there's land grabbing, this is one that we really want to grab land, because once you get onto the Omni system, you wouldn't want to exit it, because the product is so good. But I wouldn't want you to try someone else before, although it will be inferior, but then once you do it, then you would
Switching costs.
and you would think, oh, I put the money, I'll rather wait and stuff like that. So we want to really land grab that.
Also, just to step back, if you can talk a little bit about the pricing model on JD Omni, and also upfront investment required by the merchant. If you can talk a little bit about that, the cost point of view for the merchant.
Okay. So Omni is a plug and play technology. Most of it is like plug and play. Unless you have custom products, you need to like upload and stuff like that. We teach you how to do it. So what we have done is we have two choices for you to sign up. One is you pay, you rent it from us. So you pay 20,000 rupees setup cost, and you pay 2,000 rupees per month. This 2,000 can potentially go up also as the versions get upgraded. You can choose not to go for the upgraded version. You pay 2,000. But as the versions get upgraded, it could be 2,500, it could be 3,000. But the flexibility of you continuing with the same price is there. That's a rent model, which is what we want to push the most. But knowing this country, there are a lot of people out there who want to pay one-time pay. They say, okay, I want to license this software and use it forever. So they have a choice. They can host it wherever they want, or they can just be participating in the cloud also. There, what we have done is the upfront model is you pay 65,000 rupees, and we give 5 years of support, 5 years of AMC support and hosting support. And after the 5th year, you will have to figure out how you want to go about it. And by then, we hope that they would have upgraded to the new version of Omni. But there is a market which wants to pay upfront. You can't ignore them. So you got to cater to them as well. So these are the two ways of monetizing Omni. Left to me, I would probably want only people paying a monthly subscription and using this, and that's a far more scalable this thing.
And if I'm not mistaken, all of the development costs that most of them that have gone into building the product have already passed through the P&L.
Any product we develop, we write off the cost while the product is work in progress, every month we write off the cost. So people question us, well, what about your margins, for example? Yeah, exactly. If I say about close to about $10 million we would have spent on developing products, let's say. I don't have real numbers, but somewhat of it. Yeah. We wrote it off. That's it. We don't want to show. We show you would see your expense, personal expense going up. You'll see ESOPs given to employees, and that's going on a non-cash expense, but it's right up there. You can't. You have to show again personal costs. So we expense out everything. We don't like capitalizing anything. We want our balance sheet to be ultra clean, zero receivables, zero debt, and these kind of capitalization, nothing, no creative stuff to be done. But we don't take too much effort to go out there and tell people this is what we do, so, because we know that with time everything will play out.
So what are the incremental costs as you scale JD Omni up?
So
what kind of costs should we look at?
two simple things. One is your hosting cost, because it's a cloud hosted solution, which again, whether you host 100,000 people or you host 1,000 people, the cost somewhat remains the same. You create a capacity, and then you just get sign up people, and then you add on more and more and all those things. And the other one is the variable sales cost. To get people on board is going to be our major cost. As Omni matures, that cost will come down to 20-25%. Now, in the initial stages, it could be about 30% also, but that is on the percentage of the revenue, so it's pretty okay.
Looking at a little bit more into the future, let's say over the next 3 to 5 years, if you can give us a sense of some of the products that are still in the pipeline and at what stage of progress they are. For example, JD Cash or your hyperlocal delivery business. And in your mind, over the next 3 to 5 years, do you see these disparate products coming together in some way and building an ecosystem that is more complex and taking advantage of each of these separate businesses?
Absolutely. In fact, anything we build in JD is always taking advantage of each other. For example, JD Omni is a good example. Omni is a product we're building for businesses to run their business efficiently, their own website, their own POS system and all that. But the byproduct of that is every inventory in their store is published on the JD marketplace. In a year's time, we will perhaps be the #1 marketplace in the country as far as comprehensiveness is concerned and real-time pricing and inventory is concerned, if we get the numbers of JD Omni right. Similarly, JD Cash. JD Cash is more to think as an escrow account, or it is like an incentive if Just Dial wants to give as a cash. No, we are not a very big fans of cashback, but we might do it in place like where I earn 100 rupees, I want to give away 20 to you, we may do that. So the cash works more like a flexible way of handling that incentives for you. Or if there is, let us say, one vendor selling to a customer, not known vendor, let's say, there could be a 14-day escrow period. So the vendor will get a digital JD Cash, hey buddy, this amount has come, but then subject to return. So it gets reversed, so that kind of a more like how Alipay started, to make Alibaba successful. It's more on those lines. We personally believe wallets per se as a convenience is history, because now we have a new technology called one-tap payment. So when I can make a one-tap payment using any of my credit card, debit card, or bank account, then there is no use of me transferring the money to a wallet and utilizing it. But this, whatever we built, will be available not only for Just Dial, for every vendor in Just Dial can take advantage of the same product. Now, second, where they may use our name as it's a JD Cash guaranteed transaction. When somebody is directly dealing with them, the JD Cash means the guy knows that if in 14 days I return the thing, my money will come because JD is holding the money. And the last mile in logistic. This is a very conscious decision. With a lot of due deliberation, we took this decision that at some point in time, for hyper local products and services, we need to have a last mile fulfillment by brand JD. Now, using technology to the hilt, it's not truly speaking getting into the logistic business, but more to do with the user experience. It all starts with how comprehensive you are, how trustworthy you are, and how's my experience finally. So if you get all three aspects right, then you can rule this market. So that is where our last mile logistics is going to focus, and it will be purely hyper local. No delivery boy will move beyond a 2-kilometer radius, and it will be more like a delivery boy on lease for that particular transaction. It's like a more timeshare kind of a concept it is, and you will see that, and the billing is done either to the customer or to the supplier. We don't take a hit at all. So that is the thing, but that will give a wow experience. At times we don't mind paying 50 rupees delivery for a product worth 100 rupees because you need it right now. You don't want to pick up the car and go and struggle for your parking, and you don't have anybody else to do that errand for you. So there are ways and means to make sense. And this is out of loud thinking. When we think about our day-to-day life, we feel, oh, that's a piece missing. If we get that in place, this would work wonderfully. So these are kind of products, whatever you see will be added to the entire JD ecosystem, both from the consumer app and the vendor point of view. Then you will see a killer product, which I told you about, the JD Social. That is going to be a that's going to be having immense engagement of users see, in a search destination, you go only when you're looking for something. Okay, how about this, where you're able to see what are your friends liking, what is their comment. It's such that if some friend has liked a movie, and he's made a few comments about the movie, you are seeing the movie poster, you are seeing your book ticket tab, also you're seeing other friends' likes, comments about it. Say one guy liked it, two others said, no, I didn't like it, then you will ignore the book ticket. If he liked it and three others also said, you may want to just not miss out the opportunity and watch the movie this weekend. So one click, you are able to book your ticket. Or there's a beautiful feature in that called Ask Friends. How much ever we have all the latest way to find things, we still want that validation from our friends. So you can click on the Ask Friends tab and say, hey, can you tell me a good pediatrician here? And the guy actually uses Just Dial to find the pediatrician he wants to recommend. Say, this is a guy I would recommend because it really worked for my daughter or my son. And then you're a little bit more convinced, and some few other friends come and comment about it. And you just click on one tab called Book Appointment. You're able to book your appointments. So this is going to be a very interesting. Even your regular JD notifications which would come on any promotions, all that will reside on JD Social. So there is a social interaction. You get to see, your friends also get to see those notifications, and there is a bit of engagement. Yeah, and share it on any social media. There's a share feature there. Share it on Facebook, share it on WhatsApp, Twitter, all that you can do.
Right. So Mani, just on the penetration that we've got about 16 million
Right.
total listings on our platforms,
Right.
and the penetration has been steady at about 2.2 to 2.3%.
Okay.
While obviously the total listings are growing, and so the paid listers are also growing. But what are the opportunities that you see to take this traction in terms of penetration up going forward?
The right way to understand this is actually go back in time and forget JD first. Look at the internet penetration in this country. 3 years back, how many people had internet connection? And today, it's probably 10x. Yeah. Why? Because smartphone and mobile providers. Now you see, go forward 3 years, we will have the best of class 4G, perhaps 5G also in place. They're already talking about it as a technology. And there will be hardly any part of India which will be left under-penetrated about internet. And you need to understand that how marketplaces work. Let's say mall. A mall works because it's a footfall. If the mall doesn't have the footfall, then the shops shut down. So here, what happens with better internet penetration, a marketplace like Just Dial, a search destination like Just Dial, a life changer, life made easy product like Just Dial will have more and more and more users and deeper usage. With that, the businesses have no choice but to have a JD strategy. Hence, logically speaking, this 2.2 should go to 10%. At least 10% of the businesses will be sensible out there to make use of this internet advantage and JD advantage. And I'm quite bullish about the way it looks for the future. It's just that when is going to be that tipping point when it really takes off. And you would see a lot happening with 4G, I believe, with better quality internet. See, today what's happening, there's an inconsistent internet experience. The pockets where it works, pockets it doesn't work. At home it works, at office it doesn't work, things like that. Once that consistency gets into place, then it gets etched into the psyche of the businessman also. Oh, I need to have, because otherwise I would perish. And you would by then already see testimonials of his friends who have been immensely successful exploiting internet. It's like the early days of search engine marketing when the early adopters probably paid pennies and benefited in thousands of dollars. And of course now you earn for the search engine company. But it's like that. So you would see that big change happening in India, and it will all happen as all of a sudden. In fact, as you saw, the mobile internet penetration happened so fast. You know, the same manner you would see that with a higher quality internet penetration, businesses adopting. Now, the Omni itself will be a bigger thing for them to take it, because now Omni I have to have, because I need to have my own website with transaction capability, with state-of-art this thing. So we built this thing called JD Cabs. And we then realized, boss, the way they are all giving away cashbacks and cheap rides, we said, okay, we're not going to use it. Now, that's a technology as good as any other cab hailing technology. All of a sudden, while rolling out this Omni, we realized there are a whole lot of car rental companies and cab rental companies who want to buy this technology from us and use it for their own purpose, and just a cloud hosted solution. It was a brilliant idea. So now we're working with them to empower them with this technology, and they pay X amount of setup charge and then pay per driver or pay per car and stuff like that. The byproduct of that is the entire inventory is available on JD for cab hailing. So that's how things are going to change so fast that the percentage of businesses participating in JD is going to grow leaps and bounds. We have to get our acts right as an execution company. We have been known for our execution for so many years. We have that patience and the maturity to not get defocused from what we are doing. Otherwise, it was easy to throw money and impress a few analysts to say, me too is there giving cash back. I'm also having traction. No, we don't choose those paths. So I think we have chosen the right path. We're going to rule out there. I'm pretty confident this percentage of businesses paying us will go leaps and bounds.
Right. So, Mani, we've spoken about some of the concerns that were there in the minds of the investor in terms of growth, and how you are looking to address that through hiring more hunters who will go out and get business for you. Also, we've spoken about the new JD Omni product,
Correct,
which takes businesses from offline to online and also helps them give better control to them over their inventory and their billing management and how they run their businesses.
Right.
And we spoke about how you're looking to tie all of these in to a larger marketplace where you will not be competing with the vendors, but you will just provide a platform where a host of entrepreneurs, small and medium businesses, can come onto the same platform,
Right,
and meet customers who are looking for various services and products. So it's been a very insightful interaction. I want to thank you for taking time out for us.
Thank you, sir.
And all the best for all
You
your...
asked all the right questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.